Hey guys, it's Max, and today I'm going to show you why 50 Cent is one of the worst, if not the worst, famous rapper out there. Famous rappers, by my own definition, do not include people like Jay-Z, Pitbull, or anyone else who has no rap talent whatsoever. I will be analyzing 50 Cent in criteria in which I think a good rapper should be excelling in, and then compare him to some talented rappers to show you the massive contrast. Please remember that this is my own opinion and that you are welcome to disagree with me. Now I know there may be a lot of rappers out there who are worse than 50 Cent, but since he's one of the most famous rappers in the world and one of the people who I think deserve their fame and wealth the least, I will be purely focusing on him. Now I think one of the key things to being a good rapper is having good rhymes. Some of you might say that house and mouse are excellent rhymes, but I would disagree with you. House and mouse are basically the same word, with the only difference being their first letter. Since these rhymes are so easy to think of, as we're taught them in school for poems and songs, I do not consider it talented when a rapper makes use of rhymes like these unless they're part of the hook, of a double time passage, or when there's no other way to phrase what you're trying to say. Another thing I consider untalented is when a rapper exaggerates the pronunciation of words insanely just so they kinda sound like they rhyme. A lot of gangster rappers do this. The key to good rhyming is assonance. Yes, it's that word from 9th grade English again. What does it mean? Well, assonance is when two words or phrases share the same vowel sounds. A good example, which I came up with myself, is talk to me and Odyssey. The A in talk sounds like the fast O in Odyssey, and the soft E in Odyssey sounds similar to the E in me when rapped in a song. As you might notice, rhyming phrases with words using assonance is typically much more difficult than making use of perfect rhymes like house and mouse. Trust me, I've written rap songs before, and rhyming more than 3 syllables like this can be really tricky, and that is why I respect it all the more when a rapper manages to rhyme large amounts of syllables using assonance and still make sense throughout a song. So, to find out whether or not 50 Cent has good rhymes, let's take a look at the lyrics to one of his most famous songs, In the Club. It starts off like this.
Go, 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 shorty, it's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday.
Alright, that should be enough. What becomes evident immediately is that 50 Cent uses his accent to make a lot of these rhymes work. A good example is his exaggerated way of saying shorty. He pronounces it as shorty to kind of make it rhyme with the two we gon' and with you know. I will get into the content later, but we can conclude from reading the first 6 lines that his only goal seems to be impressing people by pumping out as many rhymes as possible and giving the song a nice sound. I wouldn't have a problem with him doing this, but if you're sacrificing good rhyming for sound, then what you're saying should be meaningful and not something about celebrating someone's birthday and then somehow not celebrating their birthday or celebrating it without them, or whatever this fucked up passage was meant to mean. Let's take a look at another part of In the Club just to make sure that this was only a one-time slip-up.
And you should love it, way more than you hate it, nigga, you mad? I thought that you be happy I made it. I'm the cat by the bar, toasting to the good life. You that faggot ass nigga tryna pull me back, right? My junk get the bumping in the club, the sound. I'm with my eyes, your bitch, if she smash, she gone. Hit the roof on fire, let the motherfucker burn. If they're talking about money, homie, I ain't concerned.
Completely ignoring his flawless grammar, let's take a look at what he's rhyming with what here. The first rhyme in this particular extract of this musical masterpiece is hate it and made it. Here I would actually like to congratulate 50 Cent on rhyming 2 syllables and actually using assonance. Good job, here's a lollipop, I know you like them very much. Anyway, made and hate may be decent rhymes in theory, but only if they're combined with 1 or 2 more decent rhymes, or 1 really good rhyme. If I wanted to, I could continue this rhyming scheme he's using here forever. I just have to find 1 syllable verbs that have the same vowel sound and combine them with it. Bait it, bake it, braid it, save it, crave it, rate it, pay it, say it, etc. The next rhyme is life and right. Wow, a 1 syllable rhyme, how innovative and skillful. There seems to also be an attempt at rhyming cat by the bar with faggot ass nigger, but that rhyme would only work if you mispronounce the words. Also, words like faggot ass when combined with normal words are not a show of talented rhyming, but rather of the desperate attempts at a rhyme by using weird words, making up new words to fit into the rhyme or adding a random word on the end of it. An example would be, don't play Sega fool, everyone knows Nintendo is mega cool. Or mega cool. In this case, the non-existent word mega cool is added to the second line to give the impression that the artist is rhyming multiple syllables and is therefore extremely hardcore and talented. The next rhyme is yet another below average 2-syllable rhyme, but the last rhyme is easily the best one in the entire song. He rhymes urban with concerned. This is actually a really decent rhyme, it's multisyllabic and uses assonance. So good job 50 Cent, you managed to have 1 good rhyme in an entire song. In order to make sure this song isn't uniquely bad in his discography, let's take a look at another song by him, Amusement Park. Now I admit I used to like 50 Cent and I have listened to In the Club, PIMP and Candy Shop countless times, but I've never heard of this song. So let's take a look at the first passage.
Shorty, you ain't gotta take your panties off, just move to the side. If you wanna ride on the roller coaster, baby come on and ride. It go up and down. And round, stand up or get on the floor. It's on tonight, I know what you like, I know just how to break y'all.
Okay, so the first half seems to be using an AB-AB rhyme scheme, so that's how I will treat it. The first line looks like it's supposed to rhyme with the third line, but as much as I try, I simply cannot see in what universe "your panties off" rhymes with roller coaster. It may be that 50 Cent is so lyrically advanced that his rhymes are beyond my understanding, but I think it's far more likely that he just didn't bother rhyming those two lines. I guess he knows that even if he doesn't try, people will buy his shit anyway. We then have yet another subhuman one-syllable rhyme inside and ride, and that's the first half of the passage done. The second half only has one rhyme that I could identify, which is tonight and you like, which is a decent rhyme on its own, but when randomly added to 4 lines that don't rhyme or have any proper meaning whatsoever, it fails to shine. Okay, so in conclusion, it seems like 50 Cent does in fact have the skills necessary to think of good rhymes, but either he doesn't bother to use them most of the time, or he only manages to use them every once in a while. To illustrate even more just how rubbish 50 Cent is at rhyming, I will compare him to the best rapper in the business, Eminem. Take, for example, this part from Not Afraid.
You can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I lay 'em, but you won't take the sting out these words before I say 'em, 'cause ain't no way I'ma let you stop me from causing mayhem.
Just these 3 rhymes are already better than 50 Cent's entire existence. Let me explain why. Eminem rhymes "before I lay 'em" with "before I say 'em" with "me from causing mayhem." Admittedly, the first 2 rhymes aren't that great, but when combined with the third one, they are absolutely brilliant. Eminem rhymes 6 syllables completely flawlessly using assonance. All the vowel sounds line up perfectly, and the line also makes sense, unlike about 90% of 50 Cent's songs. If you're still not convinced that a 5th grader could probably write better rhymes than 50 Cent, here's another brilliant passage from Not Afraid.
I'ma be what I set out to be, without a doubt, undoubtedly, and all those who look down on me, I'm tearing down your balcony.
I don't think I have to explain to you how brilliant this passage is, but I'll do it anyway. Without a doubt, undoubtedly rhymes perfectly with "I'm tearing down your balcony," as all the vowel sounds line up once again, and that's an 8-syllable rhyme. Set out to me and look down on me also rhyme additionally, and managed to add even more to the brilliance of these 2 lines. Compare this to 50 Cent's occasional 2-syllable rhyme and his very frequent retarded 1-syllable rhyme, and you'll start to understand why I do not think he's a very talented rapper. But of course, Eminem isn't the only one who destroys 50 Cent in terms of rhyming skills. I'm sure even my dead grandma would destroy 50 Cent in terms of rhyming skills, but let's compare him to another rapper. Here's a passage from Changes, rest in peace Tupac, that also has good rhymes.
I see no changes. Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I blast myself? I'm tired of being poor and even worse, I'm black. My stomach hurts, so I'm looking for a purse to snatch. Cops give a damn about a Negro. Pull a trigger, kill a nigga, he's a hero. Get it back to the kids who the hell cares. One less hungry mouth on the welfare.
To name just one of those good rhymes, Worse I'm Black and Purse to Snatch. Although Tupac's rhymes may not quite have the quality that Eminem's rhymes do, the content in Tupac's songs makes up for that completely, which brings me to... Now, I believe that content is very important, not just with rap, but with any music genre. When I listen to a song, I don't want it to be some random macho bullshit, I want it to actually send me some sort of message, as is or should be the case with any form of art. The reason I listen to Eminem, for example, is because almost all of his songs tell a story of some sort. So since 50 Cent has completely failed on my first criteria, and since his rhyming is about as good as Pitbull is handsome, it should be safe to say that his songs must be insane in terms of content. So let's take another look at the second passage of In the Club. Alright, let's break these lines down. The first 2 are saying that the listener should be happy about something that 50 Cent made, and that they should love it way more than they hate it. I'm assuming he's referring to his so-called career, in which case I do not see why we should be glad that it exists in the first place. Now I know that if he wasn't famous, some other idiot would be there in his place, but that does not make his songs any better or his fame any less undeserved. He goes on to say that he's toasting to the good life and that the listener is pulling him back. That's lovely, 50 Cent, but first of all, no one gives a shit about how much you enjoy your capitalist lifestyle, and secondly, that is as relevant to your audience as my shoes. Those 4 lines have no connection whatsoever. It's the typical, look at me, I'm so cool and you're not, haha, look at my bling, nigga, kind of shit that we hear from almost every black rapper nowadays. But if anyone were to complain, then of course it's racist. The next thing he says is that when his junk gets to pumping in the club, it's on, and that if he winks at your bitch, then she's gone. Now I guess by his junk he means his dick, and by pumping I'm assuming he means fucking. I could be wrong, and I'm sure I am, but that's all I can deduce from it as an unknown listener. The part about someone's bitch is the typical I have older woman talk, and that's about it. The last 2 lines are about the roof burning, him not giving a shit, and how he's not concerned about money, probably meaning that he doesn't care about destruction because he has so much money that he can just do whatever he wants without facing the consequences. So yeah, in conclusion, all he talks about is himself and how and why he's so cool and cooler than everyone else, how he fucks all the bitches and how he has so much money. If that's not arrogant, cocky, repulsive, and completely irrelevant and as hollow as a drum, then I don't know. I actually care more about who wins the Women's World Cup than what he's saying in his songs. However, just to make sure his other songs also have shit lyrics, let's read some lines from his wonderful song, Amusement Park. Good evening ladies, I tell you from the start, I'm hoping you enjoy my amusement park. There's a lot of activities, fun things to do, and I'll find my pleasure in pleasing you. Some rides go fast, some rides go slow. You fair heights when I'm high, hell yeah, I'll go low. It tastes so sweet, that sticky cotton candy, we get carried away, we be starting a family. I won't break this passage down line by line because I would probably die of boredom, but I'll summarize it quickly. Basically, it's all about how he's an excellent lover, how if the ladies go to him, there are fun things to do, how he pleases them, and then he compares it to the sexual experience they'll apparently have to an amusement park. If those aren't some insightful and interesting lyrics right there. You'll find this pattern in pretty much all of his songs. It's always about him, how he's rich, how he drinks, how he fucks, how his lifestyle's so awesome, how he gets laid all the time, and blah blah blah. And if any songs don't follow that pattern, then I'm sure there'll just be some overly emotional love songs or some made up shit about his childhood in the ghetto and how he sold drugs as a kid or whatever. The point is, 50 Cent's rhymes are on the level of 5th grade and his songs are just about dumb egocentric shit or overly emotional sad stories that are probably not true. Like I said earlier, I have no problem with someone not really going for content but rather for the sound of the song and for entertainment, but then the rhymes should be multisyllabic assonance and he should be varying up his flow and adding in double time passages. Same goes for someone with bad rhymes. I don't mind that so long as the content is meaningful or interesting, not arrogant and retarded, but the thing is 50 Cent is good at none of these things, yet he thinks he's good at everything. That is why I do not respect him as a rapper or as a musical artist and why I think that he does not in fact deserve the amount of fame, wealth and attention he currently has. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then feel free to show support by hitting the like button and checking out some of my other videos. If you guys enjoyed this and would like to see more of me picking apart rap in the future, then leave a comment below. And to all the haters and 50 Cent fans, feel free to dislike my videos and write comments telling me how stupid I am and why my opinion is worthless. Your hate will only fuel my inspiration to make more videos like this. That's about it. All the sources can be found in the description and I'll see you for the next video soon. Goodbye.